Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sunshine Brown. Welcome, 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 welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day, right? I hope you're having a wonderful day, right? I hope you're having a wonderful morning, I should say, right? It is very early in the morning, okay? Listen, 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 listen. Welcome to Sunshine Brown. Welcome. My name is Dominique Brown. Yes, yes. Okay, so guess what? I want to continue. All right, I want to continue. Listen to this. Listen to this. Like I said, I want to continue. All right. So, I've been on this journey. And I'm kind of ending some things, closing some things out, right? So, a few weeks ago, it's probably been about a month now, I said, hey, I'm going to drop about 5 different videos before we close the year out, going into, of course, another year. I'm going to close this cycle out, right? If you're new here, if you're brand new here visiting me this morning, right? Visiting with us this morning, right? Guess what? There has been a journey. It's been a journey. Let me tell you what I mean. There's been some severe hatred that has taken place, okay? It's something that my family and I outlived, okay, and are still, working through. And this all came about when I was just simply minding my business. So if you're new here, because I notice a lot of different people are checking me out, right? Okay, so the one of the things is, one of the things is, there are several videos, okay? If you're just chiming in right now, you probably wouldn't understand exactly where I am, what I'm talking about, or anything. And then you've come in at a time where I'm actually closing some things out, right? So guess what? Some things may sound a little different. Some things may seem a little harsh or whatever. But I'm telling you, out of the years and years of torture, I'm talking about torture, and mind gaming and hate crimes and things like that, I can close this thing out and say what needs to be said, okay? And that's what's taking place. So in case you came in at this time, all right? Okay, here it is, all right? So this is where I am. Many people have asked me, how did you do it? Just tell me, how did you do it? How were you able to survive this, Because a lot of this that has happened, there's people that have went nuts. They went crazy, in real life. Because that's what they count on you to lose your mind and, and things like that. And I can see where a person would do that. I could see how, that could be a heavy thing. I've seen it. And in the videos, I explain some different things, okay? So, this is Sunshine Brown. Welcome. Okay, but I have another page where I started this journey on, where I actually talk about the healing part and all of that good stuff that goes along with it. And you say, what do you, another page? Yes, I started this journey on another page, okay? Which I haven't been posting on that page. So I decided to do a whole nother page, okay? So I could tell that something had ended, and then I just moved forward and created another page, okay? This page. But let me let you know, the other page, okay? I should say the other, it is Nikki Talk to Me, Nikki, Talk to Me with the red lips, and sometimes I have to put in Dominique Brown afterwards, okay? And it comes right up. Okay, I start talking about the healing journey and everything. That actually starts from the blonde hair, red eyeglasses with the bling around it, okay? So I go into talking about my healing journey, all right? I go in and speak a little bit about that. Okay, so let me continue, because people want to know how I got through it, okay? And so I'm giving them some different experiences and things like that, okay? Like things that I had experienced ahead of time, okay? And then when I close out on giving you just a few, okay, because there's no way I would be able to go through all of those, okay? When I give you at least just a few. I'm going to share with you how I was able to understand what I was dealing with and things like that, okay? And what made it easier to deal with such hate, okay? If you don't catch on before I actually get to the conclusion, no matter what, I'm still going to break it down for you, okay? So here it is. Here it is. All right, here it is, okay? So, as I was stating, people say, how did you get through that? How? Because, let me tell you, there was attacks coming from everywhere. And like I had just mentioned the video previous before this one, I was very expressive on that video, yes. But, that just didn't have to do with what I had said. It's much that you can't say all the time. It's so much, right? But there were things from that previous video I did. It affected a lot of people. I have children. I have a daughter where that situation, since they had so many people involved, it spilled over to my daughter's school, okay? Because people were believing a lot of different things, okay? Where I've had some even, I went and I have a beautiful, beautiful daughter, okay? Beautiful daughter, all right? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And she has been who she is since a little girl. So she's the type that's like, she's very girly and everything like that. I remember when I was having lunch, and I'm gonna say her name. I was having lunch at we were at a barbecue joint, like a well-known one here, okay? So we were at this place, and I was sitting with this lady who happened to be a pastor, okay? And her name is, what is her name? God, am I not supposed to say her name? Pastor Leslie. Pastor Leslie is who we were with. And we were sitting there, and my daughter did something, but she, did something really, and the pastor said, oh my goodness, she's gonna be something, like, in other words, like, because it's the charisma and the way that my daughter was she's just a very happy child, right? And so my daughter has always had those mannerisms and those things about her where she appreciates being a girl, okay? And things like that. But I'm telling you, people, I guess because she reminds of them so much of me, and how I am in some ways, they came for my daughter. Yeah, this thing spilled over completely into my life, okay? Where she started having problems in school and people threatening her and things like that. So people don't know, there's many things, many layers to lies. There's many layers to plotting on someone. Family is affected, okay? Oh, yeah. So let me keep going, all right? So here it is. Let me share something else with you, okay? Let me share something. So, you know how we have people, and just rock with me. You know how we have people come toward us, and they say, they may say, hey, boo, 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 I'm such and such, do. I'm just going to get to it. Would you like to have a Bible study? Okay? I would love to, and me. Oh, I have done it in the past before that, I said, I would love to, do. And then got a date ready, right? Got a date ready, okay? Well, the person that approached me, she happened to be a leader in where she was. She happened to be a leader. Her and her husband was a leader there, okay? So, okay. Here it is. Oh, okay. I would love to have, excuse me, guys. I would love to have a study with you. I would love to, okay? So, here it is. She comes by. Okay, she comes by. She starts coming by. And we're having these studies. And they're great. I appreciate them. I really enjoy them. And I've had the very same study before, okay, in my life, okay? I've had the very same study, okay? Yes, let me fix mine. Okay, bam. Okay, I've had the very same study. All right. So okay, we go ahead and we do the study, right? We're like, okay, and it's great, everything's rocking and rolling, okay? And she expresses to me, like, we start out and sitting at my kitchen table, okay? That's where we start out. Because I always had the window open in this particular home in the kitchen because it was just fresh air, right? And the kitchen was huge. It was huge. It was a huge size kitchen, and it was just beautiful to sit in, right? So I'm like, okay, Bible study's great. And she said to me, she said, I love the feeling of this place, it's so. And I said, you know what, thank you very much, I appreciate it as well, right? Something like along those lines, okay? And then we moved to another room, and I call this room my reading room. It's a room that I created. As a matter of fact, after I drop this video, I'm gonna put this room that I created a long time ago. I call it my reading room. So meaning it's a room without a television in it, where I just go to sit, relax, read something I created. And there's a story behind me creating this little room. Okay, this little reading room just for me, my personal room. And it's I used to call it my. I don't even want to go there, but anyway, something that I created for myself. I'm gonna post it, okay? And then I remember at the time I was doing the study, I had a brand new grandbaby. That I was taking care of during the day, right? At that time, I was brand new. When I say brand new, I am talking about maybe like right at a month, going into 2 months, something like that, okay? All right. Let me keep going. So that's what we were doing, okay? And, hey, as a matter of fact, did that lady, I think the way I met her, did she come up and knock at the door? I'm trying to remember if that's the way she got there. You know how you live in those, there's these mini mansions, right? But they'll break it up. So I'm trying to, anyway, it's not even important, okay? But I don't think I met her out. I don't know. But anyway, so it doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with it. So we go ahead to this room, and we're sitting in there, and it's very peaceful, very colorful, very relaxing, okay? And we have the greatest studies and things like that, okay? And I felt like I enjoyed the studies, but I just felt that they weren't quick enough. Like I needed it to be like, okay, let's, but naturally they want you to take your time, make sure, I guess, you understand what's what. And I'm like, okay, all right. So passing on, we, kept doing this. There were different things that would happen. Like, say, for example, she would tell me that she would ask me questions like how did you get your hair like that, or and I would be like, are you serious? Everybody wears their hair in certain ways. What you mean, how I get my hair? But it would be like, it was but it wasn't rude. It was just that I think I didn't, I don't know. I was just thinking, like, I think I felt like, why are you asking me how did I get my hair like this when most people wear their hair different or whatever. And guess what? I think that particular hairstyle I had was something that she just loved. I don't know what it was, but for a long time I wouldn't wear braids. And I don't remember being braided hair, but maybe, I get it. That particular hair, she just would ask me about my hair. And I'm like, okay. Then I noticed that she always would ask me, be asking me about something about me or whatever. Like, boys, like, how did you do this? How did you, okay. Make a long story short, it's the reason I'm saying all this, okay? So I'm like, okay. And I told her, some things. Or what I'll say, hey, girl, plenty of people wear their hair like this. It's really easy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Going on. All right. So, there was even a time, sometimes she would have, there was a time she had someone with her. And she's like, oh, can they come over or whatever? And they come over. And, I was good and fine with the lady coming over. Um, but when she would get a phone call, the other lady that came over with her, she got up and she walked through my house. While we're sitting in one room, she goes out and goes to another room. When she could have, there was the door there. She could have walked out of the door to finish her phone call, okay? So because there was like a foyer, like a type of hallway and a foyer that was there, okay? You rocking with me? But no, she decides to turn a corner and walk through my house. I could hear, and I'm like, whoa, excuse me. You can't just walk through my house, and I'm like, okay. And she's, all right, so here we go. Let me keep going. One day there was a study, and let me remind you, that was a different lady. That wasn't this particular lady. This was someone that she invited to come along, and I okayed it. I said, it's no problem, So, listen to me. One day she comes over, and she's like, you know what? I'm like, yeah, okay. She says, and she's like this, I just bought all of this furniture, right? And it's really nice. I like the furniture. She said, because I wanted the billing of your home. Stay with me, people. She said, I wanted the billing of your home. I want the billing of how it bills here. Okay? And I said, okay. She said, she said, but the thing is, I bought all this furniture, and I mean, I did it colorful, everything. She said, but it still just don't have the billing. It's the billing. And she's walking through. Now, I would let her walk through, the area, just that room or whatever, the kitchen, And she's like, but it don't feel the same. And the whole time she's kind of like this, like it just don't feel the same, okay? Right. So her and I was like, well, it is a beautiful feeling here, but I pray here. I'm with the kids here. It's there's no drama. There's no, what I mean? It's nothing but love, and and I'm gonna tell you something. The lady that hold on, I'll get there. So I don't want to jump too much, okay? So we go into the reading room and sit. We go in there and sit, and we're gonna have our study. And so I could tell something was going on. So I just touched her. I put my hand on her knee, maybe her leg or whatever, her boot, I don't know. But I touched her. I remember I did touch her. And I said, hey, calm down. I said, it's going to be okay. And I started to talk to her. Now, she was shocked that I knew that she was dealing with something, and I actually hit it on the head, okay? Whatever it was, I hit it right on the head, and I talked about it. I was led to talk about it. Naturally, we don't talk about much personal, okay? But we did that. She was shocked. And she said to me, how do you know? How did you know all this? Okay. And I was just like, sometimes I just, God give me something. I just go ahead and deliver it, and I just wanted to tell you it's going to be okay. All right. And I'm going to tell you about this lady. She's very beautiful. I appreciated her coming over. Yeah. I needed her as well. Amen. So it was good that she came over, and we did the Bible studies, okay? Now listen to this. That's what I was switching to. Even when I would have Bible study with another lady a while before that, okay? At a different home, okay? Where I had lived for a while. That lady and her husband both would come by, an older couple, and her husband would always, he would be so relaxed, he would just fall asleep, okay? And she made a joke, like, girl, what you doing to my husband over here? He always come over here, you feel relaxed. But she's joking because she knows it's just comfortable and it's relaxing or whatever, And I have my studies, the kids would be, like my little grandkids and all this stuff you would hear in the background, like noise. When my kids was coming up, there was no noise. There was none of that. So I don't, this new, There were, even though they're a kid, they were, small. There was no noise. If I was having Bible study, trust me, I wouldn't hear up. You wouldn't hear a peep. Okay. Okay. Let me keep going. So this is what happened. Okay, so one day she's coming over, and I say to her, I said, can you please stop at the grocery store for me? I need some food up in here, certain things, okay? Are you listening? Are you listening to me? This is what I said. And she's like, oh, okay. I was like, I only need you to, like, $35 or whatever, if you have that. That's probably, I can get a couple of things like milk, potatoes, stuff like that. I need just a couple of things until I, actually go to the grocery store, like 2 days later, okay? So she's like, okay, okay. All right, so she goes ahead and goes to the store for me, okay? But her going to the store for me was kind of like a big deal, I could tell. And naturally, remember, I was at home with a new baby and everything, okay? But I could tell that was different. Now, this woman does not have children, all right? So people's instincts, or, sometimes it's just, or, and I did consider her schedule and everything. I'm like, if it's going to stop anything on your schedule or whatever, please, that's okay. But if you could just stop by before you come in. And there was a store that was near me, all right? Not too far away. You ready? Okay. Now, you may not see it when I say it, but I felt it, okay? So, finally, I get to go to where they congregate at, is how I'm going to say it, okay? I finally get to go there, okay? I'm like, okay, because my daughter's home with the baby and all of that, I get to go this evening, okay? So, when I get there, and I think she did tell me ahead of time. She said, we're going to do a talk, and we're going to, talk about how sometimes, about the grocery store or something, but I wasn't really understanding really what she was saying, okay? So they got on this, like, stage, and naturally this person didn't have a lot of visitors or whatever. It was me, okay? It was me, okay? Like, they have certain guests that come through or whatever. This particular person, I don't see where that she got a lot of people to come out or whatever, okay? Okay, so I don't like the way I'm sitting in this chair. Just bear with me. I really need to go through my things and get the proper, so I can. Here it is. They do a talk, and she says sometimes in order, the talk is her and her husband are doing this talk, and she says, sometimes in order, the talk is several minutes on how sometimes you have to go to the grocery store for a person. Did you hear that? I don't think you heard what I just said. Sometimes the talk, a portion of the talk that lasts for hours, sometimes you have to go to the grocery store. I'm for a person. Sometimes you have to, maybe go to the grocery store for a person. And yeah. And yeah. That was a huge part of the talk. Like, sometimes you may have to do this, boop, boop, boop. And I don't remember. I think it could have been like just to get them to come out, or to get them to, I'm thinking like, what? I think y'all don't hear me. I'm thinking like, what? Oh, yeah. And of course I returned this lady's money. Okay? But do you hear what I'm saying? I'm like, what? I invited you into my home. You know that I don't move around because I am with a new baby. You was on your way over. You know, I asked you this before you being on your way over. I checked your schedule. What's the big deal? If you could do it, do it. If you can't, you can't naturally. Now remember, she don't have kids. Never had a kid, right? Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Now, out of all the beautiful things that she admired about me and then some, not saying everything, that's what she came up with. That's what you came up with. The fact that I needed you to go to the grocery store that particular day and I got $35 worth of stuff, not $100, not $50. And you probably don't think that's anything. I didn't like that at all. I have done several things for people and never mention it. Taking them places, never charge them, would never mention it. As a matter of fact, the lady that I used to, and if anybody hear this video, they know I'm telling the truth. The lady that I was having Bible study with before her, do y'all remember Wilson's Leather? They had that good leather. You go in and go, you know, they had them good sales and that good leather and stuff, quality, right? When I would go in there, and it didn't have to be a sale. I would grab myself a leather coat and get her one to the Bible study lady. Did you hear me? When this lady was selling art or whatever, I'm the one who spent over $300 on an art piece. Do you see what I mean? Giving, supportive, very loving, okay? So, just imagine, you know, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes when if people get to know you, like, you know, say for example, you do need them to run to the grocery store. Like, but this lady could have told me no, and guess what? I still would have got it done. My daughter got off work, guess what? We still would have got it done. But I was just wondering if she could quickly do it. It was in the morning. Okay? I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. So this is how I felt. And this is the thing. People say that, oh, you've done this glow up and stuff. No, I just happen to be in my own things, in my own space right now, in this temporary space right now. Okay? No, remember I was always saying, my things are in storage. Oh my God, I'm not with them. That's just the difference. That's all. That's the only thing that's changed. No glow up. No. God, listen to me. Listen to me. That was unbelievable for me. And it was very uncomfortable. I was like, whoa. Okay. This is what we're doing. Oh, okay. Out of all the things, you know, that could be said. You said that. You pulled that out of hat. Just to share with you. We don't know what be going on. And I didn't make it a big deal. And guess what? Neither did I ever say anything about it. Okay? Guess what? Guess what? I ain't never asked nobody else to go to the store for me again after that. I said, I don't think so. I said, I don't think so. Especially someone, you know. And I said, maybe it's the maternal instinct thing. Maybe they don't see that that's a small thing. Because some people that don't have children, like little kids to tend to, and that's why I always mention that children thing. Some of those people are very selfish in real life. They are very selfish, and they don't understand having to change a schedule up or just maneuver out of their way and go and do something kind for someone else or whatever. Sometimes people don't understand that at all. Nada, right? So that was my experience. But all together, collectively, I'm going to tell you at the end of this, as I'm doing the, how I was able to get through. All right, be right back. Thanks.